Alright, it's Roger with iGadgetGeek, and I have another video case review. This time it's a case for the iPhone 4. As you can see, here's my white iPhone 4. And what I'm going to review today is going to be an OtterBox, the Reflex series. Now I have this in the green and black. It's kind of a slider case, but it's kind of a unique design. It's not really multiple layers, but it's got multiple components that build up the case itself. So let's go ahead and get this out of here and take a look at what all the case is made up of. So of course it's pretty much standard packaging that we've seen from OtterBox. As you can see here, it's kind of recycled cardboard. So let's go ahead and get this out of here and see what all it comes with. Now of course you're going to have this little package here on the inside. Probably going to come with pretty much the standard things from OtterBox, which is going to be, in this case, a screen protector, a squeegee, and a microfiber cloth, as you can see there. Now, of course, that's all pretty much standard stuff we're used to seeing from OtterBox, so nothing new there. So let's take a little look at the case itself here. It is a two-piece slider case, like I mentioned, as you can see here, and it kind of has, some unique designs on it. Of course, it has the OtterBox logo, and this green part is kind of a hard plastic, and right here this black is a TPU material. As you can see here, when I squeeze the case, that flexes there. And what they've done, they've designed this case to allow room around the four corners and the edges of the phone, to where if you drop it, that flex that I showed you, that's what will take the impact and not the phone itself. Now the way they accomplish that, let me go ahead and get this here to focus in, and you can kind of see here how the case itself, here in the middle, it's higher than the edges. It kind of bends out a little bit, and that's what allows you to have that extra space around your phone itself. Now it does that on the top and the bottom piece. Alright, so let's go ahead and slide it here onto the iPhone. Of course, it just started at the top there, and it slides on. If you look here, you can see the plastic itself, how it actually has channels built into it that slides over the stainless steel bezel around the phone itself. It is a very nice, snug fit, as you can see there. But one thing I have noticed that it does not do is it does not bubble the screen protector at all. As you can see here, I have an anti-glare, and it doesn't bubble. I think the reason it does that, if you look there, the way it fits around that bezel kind of prevents that force from being right there and bubbling your screen shield, which is pretty nice. I've had a lot of slider cases in the past, and they all tend to kind of bubble screen shields, but this one does not. As you can see here, I'm going to zoom in and let it focus. As you can see there, we don't have any bubbling on that screen shield whatsoever, which is nice. Now once you get it locked in together, it doesn't want to come apart. It has to do with that little lock on the back. It's on there nice and firm. So we'll go ahead and take a look around. As you can see, here's a nice big cutout for the camera and flash. Now I haven't had any issues with any problems taking pictures in low light or anything with the flash. And on the bottom you have one big cutout for your speaker, microphone, and 30-pin dock connector. Now I have no problems fitting the standard Apple connector, but I did notice some of the larger aftermarket connectors you will have a bit of an issue because there's not a lot of room there. But some of them will work, but some of the really big ones you'll have an issue with. Now on this side, of course, you have a nice ample cutout here. Now the way that this cutout is made, this should work for both the AT&T and Verizon version of the iPhone 4. As you can see here, this is an AT&T version. Now your volume up and down are covered with the TPU material, but you do still get nice feedback. You can actually feel the click. And the same on the top. You have a nice cutout here for your headphone jack and your microphone. And your sleep-wake button is covered, but it too has very nice feel. You get a very good response. You don't have any issues. You don't have to push real hard, and you still get some of that tactile feedback when you're locking the phone. Now you too get a nice lay on the table design, so it will give you some protection if you lay it face down. Now what I was talking about earlier as far as those flex areas here in the four corners, you can see here if you were to drop your phone and it was to fall right on that corner, as you can see here how the case itself flexes on all four corners. So that's what would take the impact and not actually the corner of the phone, which is a very nice design. Now what they've intended this case to do is to be what they consider a dockable case. Now what you would do is you kind of pull this bottom piece off like that, and then you can dock it into your standard Apple dock. And then you just slide it back on when you're done. Now I don't use the standard Apple dock, but if it is something you can't live without, the bottom is very easily removed and it slides back on. It still gives you a lot of protection. Now I don't think it's going to give you quite as much protection as, say, the Defender series, but the nice part about it is it doesn't add nearly as much bulk to the phone as a Defender series, and it doesn't collect lint on the back, and you're able to put it in and out of your pocket since the majority of it here is that hard plastic. Now that's been my review of the Reflex series case by OtterBox for the iPhone 4. And this has been Roger with iGadgetGeek.